When you say nation, you talk about land. Our land is Africa. That's undeniable. This land is not our land.
That what Frantz Fanon's theory, psychological theory, is that we're in a post-colonial psychology. And what he calls that is an auto-destructional stage, which is the oppressor will oppress for so long that the oppressed no longer have to be physically oppressed. They do it to themselves automatically.
I'm black. Do you hear me, man? Do you understand? I am black. I'm a nigga. You understand me? I was born black, I live black, and I'm gonna die probably because I'm black. Because some cracker that knows I'm black better than you, nigga, is probably gonna put a bullet in the back of my head.
Hey man, it's like this, man. It's like, you know, it's like it's revolution time, man. There's no questions asked. Revolution is here. You know what I'm saying? We the youth, we the young. It's time for us to break loose, you know? We don't have no freedom, no rights, man. We slaves right now. Everybody's still a slave. That's what they told us today. In other words, you still a slave. No matter how much money you got, you still ain't shit. So, you know, it's on, just like that. Just like
are really ready and willing to pay the price that is necessary for freedom. Our people will always be walking around here second-class citizens, or what you call 20th century slaves.
What price are you talking about, sir?
The price of freedom is death.
What's the figure?
I mean, what are you in this for? You want power, you want revenge, you know? What is it?
It's simple, Willie. I just want to be free.
Uhuru, welcome to Uhuru Mindset. It's Ikemba, Feist, and Christine. This is Revolutionary Conversations for Revolutionary Times. This show is brought to you by the International People's Democratic Uhuru Movement, or MPDM for short. I want to acknowledge our president, Columbayi Antoinette, who is currently running for alderperson of Ward 3 in St. Louis, as well as the founder and the leader of the Uhuru Movement, Chairman Omali Yeshitela. Uhuru means freedom in Swahili and is the conceptual basis for which we organize and develop African or Black controlled institutions, in addition to resisting the colonial system that has been designed to subject us to a perpetual state of subjugation. Uhuru Mindset is meant to raise our consciousness to our identity and function of colonialism in our daily lives, in ways that we can transcend systems of oppression and exploitation. Our show will consist of interviews with ordinary people from our community to discuss past and present ways colonialism affected them and their community and what we can do to transform our conditions. Colonialism is a system in which one group directly or indirectly controls the politics and economics of another group. This has traditionally been done by settlement from the colonizer. Today, colonialism can be exercised through indirect rule or neo-colonialism. We plan to bring dynamic and stimulating discussions to our viewers and represent an alternative to culture vultures and opportunists who have no intention on bringing practical solutions to our problems. This show is for the African or Black working class and poor. This show represents your interests and will tell your story. Uhuru, welcome to another episode of Uhuru Mindset. This is Ikemba here with Empress and Feist, and we are members of the International People's Democratic Uhuru Movement. Our leadership, I want to give an acknowledgement to our leadership in St. Louis, President Columbayi Antoinette, who's the president of the international organization, and also Chairman Omali Yeshitela, who gave us the theory of African internationalism that really guides our practice, our theory and our practice, and is the reason why we developed this show, Uhuru Mindset. Uhuru Mindset is brought to the viewers to be a program to challenge the various platforms out there that are having conversations, but are not developing solutions to the many problems that we face in this country as African people, as Black people. We developed this program, Uhuru Mindset, because Uhuru means freedom. And we want to develop freedom mindsets with Black people, African people, wherever we are, because it's important for us to decolonize our minds. And we say decolonize our minds because for 600 years, our people have been living under colonial conditions. And this is why, the theory of African internationalism that has been brought to us by the chairman is so important, because it gives us an historical analysis of how this social system was built. And it gives us an understanding that for 600 years, Europeans, or what they are classified as now classified as white people, have been able to live at the expense of African people's labor and at the expense of indigenous people land. So we understand that there was people who lived on this land at one time, and those people are still here, living on reservations, are being marginalized in this system. And we understand that it was African people who were brought here and are continuously being exploited and oppressed under the system of colonialism. And so because of that, living under a system of colonialism, we understand that all of the institutions that have been developed under this system is used to continue the relationship between us and the colonizer, to continue a relationship of the oppressor and the oppressed. And so with that being said, it's important for us to be able to countervail all of the things that are sent our way to keep us in a position of servitude. And so Uhuru mindset, once again, it's important to develop an Uhuru mindset, to develop a freedom mindset. So we're able to tackle all of these issues. So we understand that any problem that we face in our communities can be solved with the correct analysis and the correct mindset. And so with that being said, this platform here that we created is to bring various people from our communities here so we can have conversations and discussions with them about our culture, about things that we, all of the various things that are aspects of our lives that we're impacted by, so we can find different ways to address whether there are problems or the great things that we're doing, because we're not a people that's just facing we're facing daily problems, but there is positive aspects of our lives that needs to be highlighted as well. And so with that being said, we have a great guest today. I'm looking forward to the conversation. I want to appreciate everybody for being here. And right now we're going to do what we always do, and we're going to go to a track. We're going to go to a track that's that our guest, the person that we have today, had put out. And so I want to say, like, there was different songs that was like really resonating with me. And there's a song I wanted to play, but I'm gonna play the PSA because I know my brother just put out a video for this. So I'm not going to be subjective and play my favorite track. We're going to put the PSA on.
Yeah. TG. Man, let's get it, y'all. Man, I got some shit to say, so please listen up. What you see is what you get, so I'm never switching up. This the type of stuff that put feathers in the rough, but it's just to lift you up and get you going when it's tough. I gotta keep it real, I don't care how you feel. It's youngest getting killed, I ain't worried about a deal. Leaders gotta step up, it's time to have a checkup. How we screaming for equality, but treat each other less of. I know we all mess up, but it's no excuses. An idle mind's a waste of time, you pretty much useless. It's time we stop fooling, it's time to start schooling. It ain't that we held back, it's about what we choosing. Ain't you sick of losing? I'm speaking from the heart. Y'all shooting with no morals, man, it's kids up at the park. And I ain't one to judge, cause I know it's pretty deep. But my people have been poisoned and I made our minds weak. Damn. Nah, I'ma do something about it though. That's why I'm here. gunshots and some sirens. I guess that make you tough. I guess that make you buff. I guess cops killing us just not enough. They gon' say I'm saying too much, but that's alright. Cause I'm passionate about what I want, and I'ma fight for folks to get out the dark and see the light. And since it's on me, I'm up for the challenge. I'm ready for the ride, I ain't worried about the mileage. Yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready to lead.
All I heard was bars.
Bars.
Yo, oh my goodness, I love it. Uhuru family, Uhuru Space, Uhuru Stacy, Uhuru Erica, Uhuru comrades. Welcome, Quise Freeman. Family, we have a wonderful guest. He is a musical artist, entrepreneur. He's a business owner. He owns a company called Team Ghostly LLC, and we are honored and we are so hyped to have you here today. We were talking about this interview all day. We want to get to the bars, to your story, to everything. So we want to learn all about you. So the first question that I want to ask you, welcome again, Caribou means welcome in Swahili. I want to ask you, how did you get started with music?
Man, it honestly started with the pandemic. It started with the pandemic because I started Team Ghostly 3 years ago. So with Team Ghostly, I was just selling apparel. I was doing Instagram content, like just little motivational, inspirational, real videos every day. I was hosting events. I would have like comedians, spoken word artists come through, create a whole vibe, have food. I was like a Russell Simmons type of guy. That's how I see myself playing my role, like Russell Simmons, just creating good energy, creating things that people could come to and enjoy. So with so the pandemic starts and I got tracksuits out and I'm killing it. You know, I'm selling at least 2 to 3 tracksuits a day. So, you know, at the time I was delivering mail. So either before work, I would go to the shop in the morning and put the order in and, you know, pick the products up after work. So it was a nonstop grind. So so as it started to heat up with the pandemic and everything shut down, the print shops closed down. So now I can't go, I can't get these sweatsuits printed up. You know what I mean? Y'all, like y'all remember when the shutdown first started, it was a real shutdown. Like, you know, everything was closed down. So I was like, man, I gotta do something. Like, I gotta do something else. I gotta keep my momentum going. You know what I mean? Because I was trying to take it beyond just 60-second Instagram videos, you know, because I felt like, you know, they were good. Like, it got to a point where I was even trying to deliver them 3 times a day, but it was just repetitive. So I was like, man, how can I like take it to another level and start spreading the message out more and giving myself more time to speak. And I said, you know what? Maybe I start rapping, because it was like, I'll say about 8-9 years ago, you know, me and a friend of mine, God bless his soul, we would be in the studio, and that was like his outlet. He was running the streets. He was in the streets. I wasn't into that. So it was like, he'll go do his thing, and then he'll call me, yo, let's go to the studio. That was his, you know, get out the way time. You know what I mean? After, you know, doing his running around, now it's time to get out the way. So he wants to go to the studio, and we'll be in there messing around, just freestyling and all of that. And it will be good, but it was no substance to it. You know, I wasn't talking nothing. I'm telling you that now. It was good, but it's nothing that I will talk about today. So it was like, I'm not a rapper. I don't rap. Like, I'm not a rapper. So just like in May, and I just started doing the music in May. So it was like, you know what? I will let people hear that old stuff, because I still have access to it. I won't tell y'all where to find it, but I still have access to it. And it's like, I don't let nobody find it. So here's the thing. I let about 5 people, it was like throwing spaghetti to the wall. I let 5 people hear it. And I said, you hear that, right? I said, so imagine that with me doing and speaking about what I'm doing today. Like, and they was like, I think you should do it. So I did it. And that's how the first song, Dream Big, came about.
Wow. The first song was Dream Dream Big. Okay, that's my favorite song. You triggered a lot of thoughts. So first, sorry, that's the baby. She's saying Uhuru. She's so excited about Quise Freeman because Dream Big. I'm gonna let her listen to Dream Big on repeat. So a few things came to mind. So you stated that like, you know, you like, yo, I'm not a rapper or whatever, but you know, it's so funny. Like we can use our voice in so many different ways. And me listening to your songs, like The Cure, Pray For Me, Dream Big, it's like your voice may be your purpose and you put in those bars to a track like you're really good at it. So you talk about finding your purpose. You talk about like helping the hood, educating our people, and like you make it a point to say, you know, there's children in the park and you're shooting in the park. Like I think it was like y'all shooting with no morals. There's children in the park. Like so many things you said. Like I had to write it down. I was like, oh, this is a bar. This is a bar. This is beautiful. So with all that being said, Dream Big was your first song. So was that just a freestyle? Did you plan the concept of that song, or you just spoke from the heart and you just
it was where I was at. Like I'm not gonna lie, I wrote that song. I started writing that song in my old apartment. It's a bathroom. Me and my ex, 10, 11 years, we were still living together, but we were roommates. I'm gonna just put it like that. We were roommates, so it was like it was a very, very miserable time. So I would sit in the bathroom because it's a small apartment. So I would sit in the bathroom sometimes just to get away. So I would sit there and just write that song in the bathroom, just thinking about everything I've been doing, everything I've been talking about, you know, dreaming big and making your presence felt and not settling for anything. And I was just putting it together. The whole hook, because I'm still learning how to, you know, do hooks and get crafty with it. But I was in my car with a friend of mine and I said, yo, man, I said, I'm trying to write this song and I'm like, help me with the hook. Mm-hmm. So I said, you know, so he said, all right, play the song. So, you know, I said, I don't care what the dream is, dream big. Tell yourself that you're going to do it and believe it. Mm. And he stopped me and he said, that's the hook right there. And I was like,
so catchy. You got the formula. Yeah, and when you was talking about like, it don't matter what it is. If you don't believe it, it can't. Oh, and when you said a bar, you was like, if you want something, you deserve it. Like you was just spitting bars. Like you don't have to justify wanting it. If you want it, it's a sincere desire. You deserve it. So I was wondering, I'm like, yo, do he listen to Abraham Hicks? Do you know who that is?
No, I don't.
See, like your inner being just knows. Your inner being just knows because, like, you know, I listen to these like spiritual videos or whatever talking about like wants, needs, desires, and your purpose. And as I was listening to your lyrics, I thought about that. I was like, oh my God, like, yes, I deserve it. Oh my gosh, dream big and just do it. Like, you were really motivating me. Like, I was just in my kitchen writing down your lyrics and like, oh my goodness, it's looking so much forward to speaking with you. So that's like really, really dope.
So humbling. It's so humbling.
Yeah, that put you, what you just said too, when you was in the car and your man was like, that's the hook right there. Yeah. It made me think about Tupac. You ever see a clip when he in the studio and he like, man, he's like, while we sitting around here, he's like, we can go in the studio, lay down the track. He's like, whatever your last word is, he's like, that's the name of the song. And he was saying like, we do a hook. If we don't like the hook, we do another hook. Mm-hmm. It's like, yo, just, you know, just put it out there. And you know, that's what I thought about when you just said that. The other thing too, you had said, like you had wrote during the pandemic, you know, you did a lot of this writing, right? And if those who know Empress, I think Empress probably knows, like I wrote a whole.
That's why I'm smiling.
Like during the hook, I was writing all through, you know, this pandemic. I looked at it. I wrote for years. Like when I was younger, I used to write, but I never like really took it serious. But I got like a whole album in the cut right now, just like, you know, because of this pandemic, man, just having time on my hands. But yeah, like but going back to the music, man, like I thought it was like going back to what Empress said, like the message, like you were coming with positivity and like when we look at mainstream hip hop, a lot of the hip hop that people are hearing nowadays, like on the radio and so forth, is not really coming with positive message. So what, like, how do you feel trying to come out with this positive message where you look at all around where you see people who are like really becoming wealthy off of hip hop is delivering a message that's not, I should say like positive, or uplifting.
I've been listening to Nipsey since 2013. That's it right there, because see, that he made it. You a Crip. What you talking about? What you talking about that you a Crip? You supposed to be a rapper. Where do you, hold on, do y'all hear what he's saying? So in 2013, I was trying to pit people on. And from being from the West Coast a lot out here in Philly, wasn't really many people that even heard of him at the time. But it was like, yo, no. Do y'all hear what he is saying? And this was years before, his passing, and people started to eventually catch on. So for me, that made me comfortable with just spitting what I want to spit. You know what I mean? Looking at him, knowing where he was coming from, knowing his because I got the same kind of friends he probably had, and all of that come from the same place and all of that. So it's like he made it cool. Like, oh, I could do that then. Because like I said, I never looked at myself as a rapper because of what we all, what rappers are or what they portray rappers to be. So just watching, listening to him for so long and watching how he did it. And even, with his passing, it was like a bittersweet moment for me because I felt proud because I was like, dang, I was like, they finally heard you, cuz like they finally heard you, now that you're gone. But for me, that he was the real motivation for me, like feeling comfortable stepping into this industry and this game, knowing exactly that, and even being at the age that I am, because I'm not. I feel like I'm still youthful and I'm very young, but with the way the music industry is, they look for younger talent and stuff like that. But I never felt like I couldn't be myself. My thing was just getting the people to listen. So still putting my sauce on it because Philly, we have spitters out here. So when people from out of town hear me, they can still hear that. They be like, oh, where you from, East Coast? Philly? Yeah, they can hear that still, that that Philly slang. So yeah, man, I think Nip was definitely a big influence on me, and feeling comfortable and stepping in the game.
Yeah, I think too, with your album, there's that positivity, but we was having this discussion even before we started this about preachy. Like your music don't come off as preachy. Like when I'm listening to your album, like I hear a positive message, but it's positive because I say like what you're just talking about advancing, like uplifting or being your better self, like improving your conditions, like striving to be better, whatever your purpose is, like going for that. And so it's like coming off like that, like you're not on there just like you don't need to pick up a dictionary or a book. Really, it's like coming from your soul. And I think like that's why it's, people are going to be able to connect with it. Reminds me of just like like Tupac. Tupac, he wasn't preachy, but he was coming with a message. A lot of people may not agree. There was contradictions there, but he was definitely trying to give a message to people, and wanting his love for Black people, just wanting them to do better than what they was doing. You can hear that in his music. But but I hear that in your music.
Yeah, I agree with what you're saying. It's a sincere, genuine like message. Like back to what Prez said, like it's not preachy at all. It's just, it just resonates. Like because you were in alignment at the time of saying it. It came from your heart. You really believed what you were saying, and it's true. So it resonates with people who are in alignment with themselves. So I love it. So for everyone listening, right, go on Tidal, go on Spotify, and stream The Cure by Quise Freeman. I'm gonna be repeating that throughout the interview.
Make sure you get that. Like I want to go to the music, like some of the things that you're talking about, because I mean it's obvious. When you listen to this song, you're listening to autobiography. I know it's not the whole story, but that's what I get when I'm listening to it. I'm like, I'm learning who you are, like what you've been through. And with that being said, you can hear that you've been through a lot. So where is this positivity coming from? Where is this, like, how do you remain so optimistic, with so much happening in your life?
My faith, man, and sometimes I can't even explain it. That's the only way I can explain it. You know what I'm saying? Like the day I lost my mother, I could not imagine being who I was that day. You know what I mean? When as it was all the commotion is going on, and then at the hospital, and we sitting in the waiting room, and when a doctor comes in and breaks the news, it's me, my dad, and my oldest brother. It's like I couldn't believe that I wasn't even crying at that time, as they was breaking down. I was like, what in the hell? Like, I never pictured myself being able to be that strong, but they say God don't put us through anything we can't handle. So that's why I really just look at it as my faith, because I mean, from being homeless to a lot of things, like you said, it's just, I don't know, like I never found myself to waver. I mean, we all human, we all, have our moments and all of that, but it never changes me. It never takes away from what I know, what I have or what's to come, or that something is temporary or whatever the case is. So it's really just, my faith, and that's the only way I can explain it, honestly.
Wow. Yeah, that is a strength, to not depend on the outside world, conditions of the outside world, and depend on the factors that's happening to mess with like what's going on inside. Like you kept positive, you kept the purpose going, because there's a lot of people that will lose it once they lose their mom, or if they're homeless. A lot of people don't come back from that. So that's amazing. Like, what year did you lose your mom?
2020, in the middle of making The Cure.
Oh my God.
So if you look on the album cover, it's a dove flying across me on the front of the album cover. So that's actually the symbolization, is that dove flying across, because I was in the middle of making the song. So quick story with me starting the music. I tell people all the time, it was like, yo, like God told me to do this. Like I'm trying to tell you, like I don't know what made, like God told me to just start doing music, right? Because I know I'm good with words. I can rap. I know I can rap, but it's like now I know what to rap about. So it was like I felt like I was being pushed to do it. So every studio session, I would send the files to my mom, let her hear or whatever. And the Cure track 3, she heard that and was like, this is our last text message. This was the day before she passed. So she like, those lyrics is dope. And I was like, yeah. I was like, yeah, LOL. And she's like, you really have a gift for rapping. And I was like, yeah, who knew? And she put God knows. And that's the last text message I had from my mom. Oh goodness. That's the last text message I had from my mom. So it's, yeah, man. It's
crazy. Keys, I have chills.
This whole journey is crazy. I'm telling y'all. So
I have chills.
As you was talking about the whole purpose thing in the beginning, I was trying not to allow myself to get that deep into the talk, because that's really, I feel like that's all this is right now. It's just, me using my voice. I'm loud. My facial expressions when I'm like all this little stuff that I used to look back onto, they used to get me spankings and used to, basketball court talking trash, getting under people's skin, all that type of stuff that I look at like, Dad, I can put it all in this music now to make people feel me, to make people hear me. And it's like, I just feel like now it's all purposeful. So it's crazy to me.
I think it's very telling and actually very poetic that the last, text message was about the Cure. And in the Cure, you said, I pledge allegiance to myself because I'm God's gift. And I do it for the hood, the children, and my mama. And then like the last text was about that. Yeah, he said that in the Cure. Yeah. And the last
how you memorize that already?
I'm on point, Price. Yeah. I'm on point.
Yeah. That's indeed. Look,
indeed. Let's go to announcements, and then we're gonna come back. Finish this discussion. I'm loving it. Uhuru.
I am Empress Livewire. It's time now for the Uhuru Mindset announcements. Please subscribe to the Burning Spear newspaper for your daily revolutionary news. That's Burning Spear newspaper. You can find that newspaper at the burningspearmarketplace.com. You can check out the link in the description box or in the chat if you're watching live. Again, that's the Burning Spear newspaper for your revolutionary news. Next, please mark your calendars for May 1st. May 1st, 2020, Saturday in Brooklyn, New York at the Magnolia Earth Tree Center, 677 Lafayette Avenue in Brooklyn, New York. We are having our town hall meeting. It is called Africans Charge Genocide. Gentrification is Genocide. Town hall meeting May 1st, 2021 in Brooklyn, New York. Please mark your calendars for that. Picture this, it's Sunday, you may be bored, you want to relax and listen to some revolutionary teachings. Tune into O'Malley Taught Me every Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern for your weekly political education on African internationalism on Facebook Live. Also, if you like, please donate to our PayPal or hit the Cash App and donate to MPDUM NYC. Our PayPal is nyc.mpdum@gmail.com. Our Cash App is $INPDUM NYC. Find those links in the description box and also in the chat if you're watching live. African Liberation Day, May 15th, 2021. Mark your calendars for that. Build the workers' state. Nothing else needs to be said. Again, that's Africans Liberation Day. Build the workers' state. Click the link in the description box to register. And if you're watching this live, you can click the link in the chat. Uhuru.
Uhuru means freedom. Yeah, I want to quickly just say rest in power to DMX, Black Rob, and Shock G. You know, it's crazy because you know, what was it like? Within a week, we lost all three of these people. Like, I grew up listening to all of these artists, and you know, they contributed a lot to hip hop, and you know, I think it's important that we do recognize and appreciate the work that they have done, their contribution. Shock G, he put Tupac on. You know, a lot of people don't know who Shock G is, but you know, the group Digital Underground, Tupac, that's where Tupac got his start at. Shock G, he produced, you know, many of his tracks. He produced, you know, he's probably known more in the hip hop industry as a producer than as a rapper. But if you know the Humpty Dance, you know, that's Shock G all day. So I definitely wanted to make sure that I said that. I get around, yeah. Who put that in? Yeah, that's Spice. Yeah, I get around. That's Shock G on there. I get around. But yeah. But back to, you know, this interview. I'm loving this discussion. You know, the topic of the discussion is hip hop, using hip hop as a tool for revolution. And when we say revolution means change. Right? A lot of people get scared of that word sometimes. I mean, like, revolution, hold on, you know. But revolution, we talking about change. And, you know, we talking about using our music, you know, in a way that can transform ourselves mentally, can transform ourselves. You know, if you can transform ourselves, the psychology of people, you can transform the behavior. And we want to transform our conditions as a people. And so we don't necessarily want the music to reflect the negative aspect of our culture, because there's so much greatness about us as a people, about our history, and also there's things that we need to do that's necessary to bring about the change. And so we need people that's going to be making music that's going to influence us to be the best version of ourselves. And so, yeah, like Keith, like, you know, your music, when I heard you, and speaking about Keith, like the way I met Keith is like it was at a community event. So this brother is not, he was out there at a community event putting on, you know, a performance for the people on Broad. You from Philly, like, Broad and Albany, like we was in the hood, like, and and it just shows like, you know, he's not just talking, he's walking the walk. So we got to appreciate artists like this. And I'm pretty sure, like, you know, it wasn't like I don't know if somebody greased your palms, but I'm assuming that you ain't get no bread to do that. But I don't know. But yeah, man, like I guess, like, you know, I want to hear from you, like the importance though of you know, giving back to the community as well. Like, is that a part of why you make this music?
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. It's one thing to be enlightened. It's one thing to have, you know, what we call in our culture some sense. You know what I mean? It's one thing to have all of that, but it's another thing to use it and share it. You know what I mean? We get so stuck in sometimes, like, it's like we don't know how sometimes to correct each other or better each other, because, you know, we could be so hard, or our wording can be so harsh that the first thing that somebody takes is that we looking down upon them, or, you know what I mean, we think we better than them or something. So I know the type of home I come from. I know the type of people that raised me and that I were around. I know what I was shown to do, not to do. I didn't have to grow up curious. My dad ran the streets of South Philly, up West Philly, North Philly. So it was certain things that I already had, you know, knowledge about. So that's what everything I'm doing, whether it's music, merch, or podcasts, or whatever the case is to enlighten somebody a little bit. You know what I mean? Just try to, you know, find a way to ease it in. And I know with music, that's what we run to. Heartbreak, we need to find a song for that. You know, I know dudes who, if they would be what they call rep chasing, they putting songs on for that. You know what I mean? We run to music. So it's like, okay, let me put something out here that we can run to. That's why it's called The Cure. And, you know, during the pandemic, a lot of people was like, oh yes, that's what's a cure during the pandemic. It was like, it's deeper than the pandemic. It's the cure for, you know, the mental stress that we deal with. It's the cure for the lack of knowledge that we deal with in our communities. And it's the cure for many more things. Because at the time, other COVID going around, my thing was knowing that it's more illnesses going around than just COVID, and they life threatening too when they up here. So I thought it was a perfect time to put that out there. Everybody was sitting at home, nobody had nothing to do, you know what I mean? So it was that, yeah, that was definitely my aim with The Cure, and just with music in general, was to make sure that I'm feeding the people something good. That's why I call it good music, you know what I mean? Regardless if it's hot, if it's not, is good music that you can listen to, that you can put your kids in the car, let them listen to it. If you don't mind them hearing a curse here and or there, then that's cool too. But for the most part, like, you can let them listen to it and rock out. You know what I'm saying? So I'm proud of that. Like that I can make music like that. Honestly.
Yeah, I don't remember hearing any cursing when I was listening.
You won't. Not many. You won't.
Oh, okay. Good. I
was hearing little sprinkles.
Yeah, if
little
you
sprinkles
do,
of it?
it'll slip by you because it's so justifiable, like at the time, like. But see, with me, I don't use it to replace words. A lot of music, a lot of rappers, they have to use curse words to replace words for the lack of vocabulary. But if I'm using it, it's more so a emphasis, or just a chuckle off of something. So I'm real strategic with how I use it, though. I trust me, I curse more when I'm not rapping than when I am rapping.
That's dope. No, that's really dope.
Yo, man, you making me wish I'd put my joint out, man, around this. Because mine was like, the title I got is COVID-92. So you would have had The Cure. I'd have had the COVID-92. Yeah. That'd have been dope, man. Yo, let me ask you, have you heard David Sebastian's album, We Are God?
No, I haven't.
It's amazing.
You gotta put me on. See, I gotta put me on. And I'm a student of the game, so you gotta.
You will love it.
You will love it. You're gonna love this album. You're gonna fire it. Yo, I'm telling you. I got you.
So what do you think about the state of hip hop today? And could it be used for a revolutionary tool?
It can be. It can be if we get enough artists out here that that want to put out the substance. You know what I mean? Because you like my business mentor. He gives me so much. He gives me so much knowledge. He's so unbiased. As much as he loves my music, as much as he can't wait to hear the next song I got to put out. Here's his favorite line is, he's never encouraging me or telling me to go do music. His thing with the rap is too close to dancing with the devil. And which I totally understand. And that's because when you have people who have been trying to get a song to go for years and years, or they want it so bad, it's going to get to a point where it's like, well, what do I have to make? What do I have to say? You know what I mean? In order to get a deal or to get popping and all of that. So you have people who it's not going to escape that. You know what I mean? They just going to put out like, and it blows my mind because I sometimes I see people, they rap this, that, and then I see them on an Instagram post talking about bringing change, and I'm like, how? Like you can't tell that to me because you're already being an example of what needs to change because you know what I'm saying. So it can be done. We just need enough people that are willing to put it out there and let those who gravitate to it, because nothing's going to change about my music. I'm just going to keep growing and just keep making better music. But even with a song like Double It Up, which is a song that people were surprised that I made because of, it's a bouncy song. You can hear more of today's music. But when you hear what I'm saying in the music, it's about financial literacy. It's about doubling up every investment that we make. It's about not, being, financially illiterate and all of that stuff. So even though you could bounce to it in the club, if you actually listen to the music, you're like, oh, he's actually telling us, double it up. And that even came from, one of Nipsey Hussle songs. So yeah, it can be done. It can be. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm here.
Absolutely.
And you said that that's your manager that said it's too close to dancing with the devil?
It's my business mentor. He wouldn't be my manager.
He don't want to be a manager.
He does not. He said he'll never encourage me to do music. He just encouraged me to be better at whatever I'm doing. He wants to hear it though, but he never wants to be somebody who I told him to go do music. And, because of how he feel about it, but it's 100% support, and he know what's up with it. But
he sounds like a great mentor. I tell you what you need to hear, not only what you want to hear. And now, and being that we're on the topic of the business, I'm gonna still fight this question. Hadi, would you ever sign like a what is it called, like an actual record deal, or would you just remain independent?
I feel like at this point in my life, it would be like, I'm so like, okay, so a lot of young artists, they get a record deal, they don't know certain things, you get them in advance, you get them a couple dollars and all of that that's shiny to them. For me, it's like, whatever you give me or whatever, I ask for, I know for a fact that I won't ever, I'm not putting myself in a hole. I'm not slaving for anybody. So with me already having the LLC, with me already having the business, me having a following, a platform, I would partner up. I would be open to signing something, but it would probably be at the bare minimum, just on the strength of knowing what it is that I'm trying to do. And I'm not starving for a record deal. So I'm not like a starving artist who, I'm ready to sign. It's just like,
we don't speak that on ourselves.
Yeah, you give me 50,000. Yeah, I think I can make that back for you in about 2 months with my platform I already have. You give me a little bit of what they call it, that main industry exposure, you know what I mean, and all that type of stuff. I'm sure, from the way I carry myself, my looks, it would be like an investment in myself, you know what I mean? But a lot of times with record deals, people sign them and they sign their next couple years of their life away. So I would never do anything like that. I would never.
Or they sign their whole life away and all the royals and everything away. I asked because we had a conversation earlier about, I listen to a lot of music podcasts, and the theme now with the conversations is like, artists are so valuable. The companies and the executives are making billions of dollars off of the artists. And it's like, they never seem to pay the artist the true worth. And it's like, and I think they're never going to, unless like artists, we stand up for ourselves. And I don't know if it's possible to, I think Joe Budden mentioned like artists should come together and have like a union. I'm not sure if that's possible, but what do you think about the state of the business and artists not getting paid what they're worth?
That was me who said that.
Oh, my bad. You sure? You sure that was you?
Yeah, it was me.
Y'all both said it, but I'll give credit to you. Let the record reflect.
Well, like first I would look at it. For me, I would look at it like industry. The record labels still have certain advantages. You know what I mean? That's the name. That's the game in the music game. That's why they still have a certain power too. But we gotta, for artists, again, you gotta be smart and don't use them. You know what I mean? We understand what they've done to artists, and people. The independent thing is big, so it's like staying away from the labels. But why not use the labels the same way they've used the artists? You know what I mean? Why not try to flip the script a little bit and say, okay, give me this, like I said, this small amount of front money, and I give you 12 months. I give you 12 months of my services, and after that 12 months, I'm good. You know what I mean? Like we could start using them more. As far as the artist union, it's a great idea, but the more I look into the music game and just see how it is so ingenuine. It is so ingenuine. So it's you. Like for instance, you might think that these certain artists are so together or so tight because you might have seen them on an Instagram post or heard them on a song together. But then if you look deep and realize that was nothing but his people getting them to do a song together. They never even had a conversation. They probably really don't even like each other, but they know this song is probably about to sell a couple millions, so they both got up on it. But that don't mean that they'll come together for something like really together. You get what I'm saying? So it can definitely be done. I think it comes into like the way the boxing world works, where you have you have different states that like that's the commission. It's not no one big commissioner for boxing. Is done by the state. So I think if it was done musically, you would just have form, like it would be people who would just form different unions of their own, and people who would want to come hop on something like that. And I think that something like that could definitely work, like a coalition.
Yeah. I'm just thinking, it's like, wow. So people not in the contracts. I'm thinking about contracts. I'm thinking about the comments. Whisper said, make sure you reserve all rights in front of your signature. And Erica Pierre, shout out to you, Erica. Thank you for joining. Said, nah, you can't get in bed with the devil literally and not get burned, possibly for life. Whisper said, contract negotiations are everything. Erica, I love y'all. I'm so happy for y'all platform. Oh, we love you too. We're reflecting you. Thank you for being here, sharing energy with us. Yo, yeah, this is amazing. So just to like bring it back with the music industry and your business mentor stating, he don't want to push music on you, but he still wants you to thrive in anything you choose to do. And with the industry being very demonic at times and being disingenuous, I would say, it doesn't matter. You're using your voice as a powerful tool for the good, to uplift your people, to uplift yourself. Your voice is your superpower. You have activated it. So that's amazing. And I would say, even if you never sign a deal, if you do sign a deal, there are ways to be in the industry and not sell your soul, so to speak. Sorry, my laptop was dying. Not sell your soul, so to speak, and to not get too lost deep in it. And what I love is that you have other things going on. You're like a community activist. You have your clothing line. You have Team Ghostly LLC. So it's not like your music is a be all do all, and you're gonna compromise yourself, your morals and your morals and your inner being for that. So that's amazing. You're gonna be great. You are already great. So this is like amazing. So I'm gonna be quiet. so someone else could go.
You're gonna be quiet. What's wrong? You was on a roll.
I don't want to overtalk.
No, no doubt. No, but definitely appreciate you coming on this platform because we want to get this word out. Like I got some students who's going to be viewing this, man. Like this is part of their grade to watch this and write about the show. So there's going to be some people writing about what you're saying. I just want to put that out there, like, you know, their thoughts about it. And you know, they're going to be able to hear your music and you know, hopefully they'll spread the word. But that's what this is all about too, is to be able to give a voice to the people in the community that, you know, that Vlad might not reach out, you know, but we're going to reach out, you know, Breakfast Club, at least like not right now, you know, not right now, but at some point. But we going to get people before they, you know, too far to reach out to. And hopefully we can play a part in helping people propel people to the next level. So that's what that's all about, you know. But yeah, like what's Whisper, I see Whisper's with us. Feist, did y'all have any questions before we close out? Any questions at all?
Oh wow, I'm so sorry. Oh yeah, I'll ask a question because I'm so late. I got held up on the train on L. I'm so sorry, but
No, it's all good.
I heard about, you know, I thought about the part what happened with your mom and things like that. With all the things that you're facing at this moment in time, like when you make your pieces, you know, how does that affect you? And do you reflect on some of the lessons that you learn and, you know, what you've, you know, into your song?
You broke up a little bit. You was breaking up a little bit. Can you run back?
Whisper, put your question in the chat if you keep breaking up, but you could try again.
Yeah, it sounds like a
Do you hear
powerful
me
question
now?
too.
It
Yeah,
like it
go
will
ahead.
keep
Ask
going
it.
in and out, but try.
Do you
Oh
hear
yeah.
me now?
Nah, you're
We hear
done.
you, but you're like freezing and going in and out.
Yeah, you're done, Whisper.
Write your question in the chat. Write your question in the chat because it's a good one.
Yeah, it sounds good.
Yeah, and I want to answer it fully and correctly. I don't want to leave nothing out. So I definitely want to answer your question the right way.
Yeah, it sounds like a powerful question too. Something about your music, what you're going through, how reflecting. I can't even get it, but it sounds good.
Nice try.
While we
Nice
get
try,
that,
Prez. Nice try.
yeah, while we get that question in the chat, Quise, is there anything that you would like the people to know about you
What you
that
call
we
him?
haven't touched on? Huh?
What did you
Keys.
call him?
Sorry, Keys. I said Keys. I said Keys.
we all that time we worked on getting this together.
I don't know what you're talking about. I said Keys.
Oh, okay. My bad.
Your audio probably off. All y'all audio.
You're right.
But
Go
yeah,
ahead.
Keys, you're on mute. But you know, I'll repeat my question. Is there anything you would like us to know that we didn't touch on, and any projects and things coming up that you want us to be on the lookout for?
Well, like y'all said, I just shot the PSA video last week, so that'll be dropping. That should be dropping this week on my YouTube channel. Next, we're gonna start working on the Dream Big video, which we want as many people to come out to that as possible. You know, we'll probably, you know, create like a cookout kind of vibe. You know what I mean? Just a good vibe kind of thing for people to come together.
When is that?
We working on it now. I haven't
Okay.
put a date on it yet, but the minute I get the date and flyer for that, I'll put that out. But
okay.
For the most part, just getting visuals out, and I'm always posting little freestyles on my website, teamghostly.com, so people can always tune into any of my latest music that I put out. A lot of the music I want to start distributing straight from my website, in which I can make more and get more genuine support straight from the website sales, opposed to using the major platforms. So that's another thing to, to strengthen the whole independent thing. You know what I mean? Not even using Spotify or Tidal, just, it's ways I can actually sell it off my website. So I'm gonna start doing that more. And just merch. I always have merch on my website. We want to start releasing some new T-shirts this week too, and short set stuff, basically the spring and summer catalog, that kind of thing. So it's always something on the website. That's why I was able to combine my music and the brand on teamghostly.com. So you go there, you could get updated with everything that's going on, whether it's an event, whether it's a video or a new song, merch, it's all on there. Yeah.
Man, that's a
Sounds
lot,
good.
man. You gotta be excited about that.
Yeah, it's a lot, bro. It's a lot.
Yeah, make sure we get that flyer in a timely
He
manner.
was real nonchalant. He was like, man, I got
He's
this
like,
going on.
it's too easy. It's too easy. It's too easy. It's too easy. That's basically what he was saying.
It's too easy.
Make sure the Brooklyn people get the flyer on time so we can make arrangements to come to support you.
Oh yeah.
I was about to say something over what you said, but we could carry it on into the after party. You got it, Prez.
No, Feist got it.
I thought you was gonna say something else, but we'll close out now, family. But don't you go anywhere, Erica. Whisper. We still got the question. We're still gonna answer it. So you sure you want to go? We going to the summary, right, Prez? Before the question. Sorry, we're live. Edit. All right, go ahead, Feist. You got it.
Uhuru comrades. My name is Feist. Really overjoyed to be on the line with our comrades Whisper and Win, Empress Livewire, and President Ikembe, our guest Quise Freeman, phenomenal artist. Thank you for joining us. This is Uhuru Mindset. We say Uhuru because Uhuru means freedom. It's also welcoming and a greeting that we use amongst our comrades. We're an organization that's geared at defending the democratic rights of African people in the U.S. and around the world. We salute our leadership, Chairman Omali Yeshitela, and our direct leadership, President Columbayi and Annette. This particular show was extremely exhilarating for myself as somebody who's dedicated to the revolution of our people, the liberation of our people, and somebody who is in tune with music, as someone who just loves music and always plays a part in participating in the listening and the production of it. And we were very happy to be introduced to Quise. And I'm sure, I hope everybody who's watching this episode of Uhuru Mindset is doing the same. And all these contradictions, all these things that we raise about hip hop, our particular genre of discussion right now, being that, even going back into blues, the first, cultural form of expression that has been deemed as American culture. That's something that African people did, just like jazz, just like, rock and roll that was now taken over by the colonizers, where, at the top of the pyramid of these particular genres, you would see a white person, when in actuality, these are creations of Black people. These are the creations of African people. And now in this day and age, we can see that from our culture, there's many different avenues and different ways resources can be made. Vast sums of wealth can be made. And our guest, spoke about the influence of Nipsey Hussle and the content that he was putting out, what he was saying, even with his background. Recently we lost, Shock G, we lost Black Rob, we lost DMX, and what became the headlines when DMX passed was, he had a drug problem or something like that. If you look in the chat, I put a link to one of our articles, because, the thing about our organization, it's good to have these discussions. It's good to big up our artists and culture workers. But, we know that revolution is the thing that's going to change all the contradictions. So the tough times and the critical things that are happening that our modern day griots, our MCs, our artists are putting out, that they're speaking about colonialism, what's happening to them. You go back to like somebody who's legendary, like Robert Johnson, bluesman, who set the whole music industry on fire when it first started, years after he had passed. His legend lived so long and so great, and they always make a connection between Robert Johnson and him going to the crossroads, making a deal with the devil. because it was known that he couldn't play, you know, his guitar that great at first. And then there was this legend that said he went down to the crossroads, made a deal with the devil, and the next thing you know, he was unstoppable. You know, a legend was born, and he died real tragically. And it took some time, you know, after the fact, but his music was played at Carnegie Hall on a record player because he had passed before they did that particular show, and it made such an impact on that audience that the legends seem to come full circle, you know. And even till this day, when your musicians talk about, you know, legendary artists, legendary musicians, they bring up Robert Johnson. And I mentioned him to juxtapose him to, you know, our modern day artists in this particular genre of hip hop right now. You know, our culture, you know, this might sound kind of airy, but our culture is going to live longer than we are, no matter what we do. If we rhyme, if we make clothes, whatever it is we do, after we pass, that record, that work that we left behind lives forever, you know. And it's up to us, our community, to take that legacy and make it mean something. Use that legacy for revolution. Use our culture work for revolution. Use every damn thing for our revolution, especially our culture. Because again, like I said, that lives on after we're gone. And so having that Uhuru mindset, you know, where we take our culture workers who are out there already understanding what's happening and articulating it their own way, with their own voice, which makes it so powerful because everyone has a voice. It's just so that, you know, we have to know within our own community, we have to support our culture workers, and our culture workers will support us in turn, you know, because it's whether you are an MC or whatever it is. Let's say you go off into politics or you go off into an advertising firm or whatever. Of course, you can make your bread, you can get rich. But if you have that connection to the community of service for the liberation of our people, that talent is not only is going to live long, but it'll be remembered as a vehicle for our freedom. And that's how we should look at culture. Our hip hop, our whatever, you know, whatever genre we come up with in the next 10, 5 years, whatever it is, you know, we got to use that for our liberation, you know, and that is the Uhuru mindset. We're breaking away from the colonial mindset because our artist said it himself. He's not doing this just to get a deal without people dying in the street. You know, he was posed a question, but it seems like to me, you know, our best culture workers will do this for free. You know, DMX said it, you know, many times over. And, you know, when we did outreach in the street, we used the line he said, you know, y'all been eating long enough, stop being greedy, you know? And that's a colonial mindset. That greed is a colonial mindset. That's capitalism, you know what I mean? And I'm not going to mention any names of particular artists in capitalism, but we know what it is. And as you can see, the artists that live forever, the culture that lives forever is the culture that serves for our liberation. Uhuru, that is the Uhuru mindset.
Mic drop. Yo, Uhuru. Hey, I want to appreciate everybody for tuning in to another hour of Black Power. And until next time, stay in the Uhuru state of mind. Uhuru.
You know, this is Uhuru Mindset. This is our program. And we appreciate everyone for tuning in and, you know, joining this discussion. We're going to continue to have these discussions. We're going to continue to engage with the community and create Uhuru mindsets wherever you are. So continue to tune into our program. Uhuru.